Hi friends, welcome to Peace for Pieces. Today our topic is equality in Christian perspective. Equality in Christian perspective. For that I have taken a verse from Galatians chapter 3 verse 28. Galatians chapter 3 verse 28. There is neither Jew nor Greek, there is neither slave nor free, there is no male and female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus. About 200 years ago, there was a man who raised from the Jewish community, who stood for justice, who stood for equality. So there was a time there were two people, Jewish community and the outcast people, they never come together. The Jewish people, the Jewish authorities, they always discriminate the people, those who are said as so-called low caste or low class people. But Jesus Christ stood against those authorities and he stood against the unjust laws. Some people called him Messiah, some people called him Jesus, and some people called him as Rabbi. So he always stood for equality. There are several examples that talks about equality in Jesus' life. So for today's sharing, I thought that I can choose 3 examples from the Bible that talks about equality. Jesus approaching a Samaritan woman at the well. In John chapter 4 verse 9, we can see Jesus encounter with the Samaritan woman. So those days the Samaritans and Jews, they never come together. But Jesus Christ, he asked for water to the Samaritan woman. So what was the response of that Samaritan woman? That we can see in verse 9. The Samaritan woman said to him, Jesus, you are a Jew and I am a Samaritan woman. How can you ask me for a drink? You are a Jew and I am a Samaritan woman. How can you ask me for a drink? So it is very clear that she is very much aware about the context where they were living. The Jewish community and the Samaritan community, they never come together, but Jesus is asking water to the so-called Samaritan people. So it is against the system, but Jesus wants to break the system that always discriminates the people. The second example which we can find in Luke chapter 10 verse 25 to 37, the parables of Good Samaritan. Jesus Christ, he has said lots of parables. One of my favorite parables is the parable of Good Samaritan. Jesus uses Samaritan as a hero in this chapter. He wants to convey the message of equality. He wants to convey the message that he uses the Samaritan because he wants to say that there is good people in the Samaritan community too. He wants to break the Jewish, the so-called laws. And in Luke chapter 17 we can see the next example, that is Jesus choosing a Samaritan man to heal. In those days, healing a person in the Sabbath days is sinful, is against the law, but Jesus break the system, his concern is for the people. So his concern is not as a person, as a so-called traditional religious person, but as a common human being who is having a concern for the person who is dying. For him it's not important to pray in the church. For him it's important to help the poor, those who are in need outside. If a person is dying on the Sabbath day outside, if you're going to pray in the church, what is the function, what is the deed? So that's why Jesus is very much clear that he is always concentrating on deeds very much. And Jesus encountered that Samaritan man when he was healing, because he wants to convey the message that he is having a concern for the Samaritan people too. So there were lots of encounters we can see in Bible, that Jesus having encounters with the outcast people or Samaritan people. The yearly after Jesus Christ also there were his followers, they took up his message of spreading the gospel to the different people, to the outcast people. So why they did? Because Jesus' teaching is always talks about equality. There is neither a Jew nor Greek, all are one in Christ. So he wants to share the love of Jesus to everyone. So he wants to, he always tries to break the barriers between the communities that always bring discrimination. So he wants to break the system. So from this sharing, I just want to say that Jesus Christ always tried to bring equality. And today, in today's context, in South India, we can find that many people, we can find that especially Dalit community, many Dalit communities, they have converted to Christianity because they felt Jesus Christ's teaching is fair. They converted that they will get justice, they will get equality in the Christian community. But after conversion, what happens? We find equality in the Christianity. Still, we find the caste system. Still, we find the discriminations in the Christian society. So, where is the justice? Where is the message of Jesus? What he has taught in New Testament? Let's think about that. So, Jesus always stood for equality. If we want to follow Jesus' message, then we have to stand for equality that can bring peace in this world. So that is the message for today from Peace for Pieces. Thank you.